All right, good morning. How are we? You guys awake over here on the couches? All right, I'm glad you're in the front row because you guys ready to roll for today? You got your Bibles? Nate, you got your Bible? Yeah, absolutely. So we are cruising through Genesis. We started, 6 months ago? Oh yeah, we're all the way to chapter 12 now. We're flying through this. So open your Bibles to chapter 12. We're going to get going. This was one of those texts that, as I went through it, I wrote down like 5-6 pages of different notes and different directions that I could go and different thoughts. And even as we were sitting here singing and praying, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, this applies and that applies. And so I might go off on some rabbit trails, so forgive me. You might have to reel me in. So wait for coffee too? A bagel, okay. Get your bagel. So let's go to Genesis chapter 12. 1 through 4. Somebody read Genesis 12, 1 through 4 for me, please.
Now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and who dishonors you I will curse. And in all families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram went, as the Lord had told him, and Lot with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran.
Excellent. Who's Abram? What do you know about Abram? Who's Abram? Let's start with the young crowd here and work our way up. Who's Abram? Anybody? Thoughts, ideas? You heard of him before, right? I mean, we paid that good Catholic, school. You should know something about it. Come on, give me something. What do you know about Abram? Oh, yeah, his name was changed to Abraham, but who is he? Give me something about him. What? He's an old dude. He had a kid at 100 and something? Okay. Keep going. You're good. That's all you know. All right. Josh, help your brother out. What do you know about Abraham? Okay, that's one of the stories too. Excellent. What else? Let's go over here. College kids. What do we got? Out of college, just graduated college, young adults. How about that? The father of all nations. Okay, what else? It's a later person. What else we got? Anybody? He was nomadic. Why was he nomadic? What do you mean by nomadic?
Getting move around. Getting settled ways.
Okay. I just wanted you to define that for everybody, and not everybody knows what nomadic means.
Nothing is so idle.
Oh, you went from young to like you're next? You're one of the last ones, bud, all right? I said we're moving up in age here, Walt. He was the Messiah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes? The father of faith. Yes, he is the father of the faith that we have. It starts with him. Father Abraham. Absolutely. Well done. Bruce, you got anything? He's gonna defer. You gonna defer that to Walt or what?
But on and wife. If you got somebody say Isaac.
Isaac, yeah, this was this guy right here. Okay, well done. Okay, Walt, what you got?
Oh, I come on. That's the Abraham. He was in Bershit.
Yes. Which is what makes him the father of all nations. Yes.
He was he got covered. He picked his ball of covenant.
Yes. Okay. And there was a covenant with Isaac, his son, at the offering and all that stuff. Okay, so we need to do some work here because maybe we need to tell some, basic stories about Abraham. It sounds like we don't really know a whole lot about Abraham here. And so, what? He married his sister. Well, his sister the whole family relationship right there, I mean, he definitely married Sarah, which was either his sister or more than likely his brother's wife. His brother died, and then he married Sarah. Now, she might have been that family related. It was all muddled back then. Who knows? Well, let's hang on. Don't go there yet. That's later on. That's several chapters. Several chapters of Abraham. All right. He was a what? He was wealthy. Okay, that's later on too, but yeah, he's wealthy to begin with. What'd you say? All right, so we know a few tidbits about Abraham. And if you've read Genesis, which I hope and encourage you all to read Genesis again, just from the text alone to understand the story of who this guy is, a lot of times what happens is when we get to the beginning of the story, we read through the text and then we go back to the text again and we know the end of the story. Have you ever watched a movie and then you go back and you watch it again, you kind of know what's going to happen, right? Or you read a book and you know what's going to happen, so you kind of fly through some of the passages or the reading, or you fast forward because you already know what's going on. What happens when we do that with this text especially? We miss stuff. Right? We miss what is trying to be said. We obscure the perspective of what's going on here because we kind of already know the end. So we're Abraham was told to go, so he goes and does all this stuff. But we forget that there's a story here that's being told. And we project the end into the beginning because we already know what the end says. But if we start at the beginning and start with recognizing Abraham didn't know any of this. Abraham doesn't know what's going to happen to his life. We do, but he doesn't. So let's start with some context. Let's give at the beginning of this story who this guy is and where he's coming from. He's an old guy. He's, as you said, he's 75 years old at this time. 75, right? He lives in a land of polytheism. What's polytheism? Multiple gods, right? There's all these different gods that people worship. There's not just one God. There's multiple gods. There's idols everywhere. He lives in a land of Ur, which I think we got a map here. That's a little far. You skipped a little ahead for me. Right there. So we have this land of Ur. It's down near the Chaldeans and all this area, which we just read a story, and he just witnessed. Rabbis say he was about 48 years old when what happened? What did we just read last week? You weren't here, were you? No, because we didn't hear you read. What? The Tower of Babel, right? The story of tyranny. There's the story of making bricks and trying to make everybody exactly the same. There's this people that tried to create one group of people to have one tyrannical government. He was at that age, we witnessed all of these things happen. He saw all of this. He saw, what's that? Nimrod, very good. So, as he gets older, something happens. At 75 years old, do we become more adventurous or more indifferent as we get older? What'd you say? Both. Maybe. What would you say, Walt? Do you become more adventurous or more indifferent?
What? I stay in the paper. This is I could about this matter. But I'm also first getting here, so I don't care.
Yeah, we know about that, yeah. Let me ask you this, Rustin. When you get older, do you want to work more or work less? I mean, who wants to work more when they get older? When you get to 70 years old, what are you thinking about? Retirement, right? And what do you want to do in retirement? Relax, right? I don't want to do anything new or adventurous or learn something or, when you first started your jobs, when you first started your career, was it difficult? You had to learn, you had to break out of your comfort zone, you had to do all these other things. And when you get older, do you want to do that again? Nobody wants to do that again. Exactly, that's the mindset. I did that already. So Abraham then, yes, family drama, next picture. There was some family drama, right? We don't know what happened to his mom. His dad's about to die. His brother somehow dies, and he's got to take his brother's wife as his own, his nephew, and all of this stuff. So he's got all of this family drama that's taking place around him. And something happens that hasn't happened in 10 generations. How long is 10 generations? Your fathers, 10 generations of people. Hasn't been heard for 10 generations. What happens? The voice that created the universe, the voice that spoke to Noah, speaks again. This voice hasn't been heard since Noah. For 10 generations, this voice has been silent. And the silence is shattered in this one statement. It says, Lech lecha in Hebrew, go, or the word is repeated twice, go, go. Abraham's 75. What do you mean, go? What do you mean, go? Where am I supposed to go? I'm supposed to go to a place that I've never seen before. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. A place where I probably don't understand the language, the customs. I don't understand the politics. I mean, look at the politics where I just came from. I don't understand any of this stuff. You're telling me to pick up my stuff, my family, and everything, and go to a place that I have no plan, no idea what I'm getting myself into. How would that make you feel? I mean, at your age, you're like, deal, let's do it, right? Sounds perfect. Now, Rustin, how does that sound to you? Anybody on board with this plan that's a little bit older than 29? This would be difficult. This is a process of like, wait a second, you're telling me to go do what? And here's the thing. We have to understand about Abraham. He's just a man. He's not a superhero. He is just a man who makes mistakes, as we'll see as we go through this text. He makes mistake after mistake after mistake. He's no different than me. He's no different than you. Sometimes he makes some pretty stupid mistakes, in my opinion. But like we all do. But this is a story. This text isn't just, it's not a history book. It's not this, science book. This is a story that you're reading, that you're supposed to consume this as a story that is about a man's life that is rich and meaningful. A man who makes mistakes, but there's something about his life that is just amazing. Of a person whose life was changed because of one thing: obedience. He was called to leave and do something that many of us would be like, hell no. And he did it. Lech lecha, go, go. Now, when you're young, that adventurous spirit is dwelling up in all of us. It wants us to go. Some of us are going. You're going to the Marine Corps. You're going to Mississippi. You went to LSU. You guys came here, right? What the heck, right? In Reagan came here too, so I'm going to point you out, right? Also, people who are just willing to I'm willing to go try something new. There's something to the call that is the adventurous spirit in each and every one of us. We all have it, and for some, it's just in different forms. It's not just that it's an adventure, but it's also this is a divine call. God calls you to something specific, a call to obedience, to a life of meaning beyond yourself. So for many, this is a struggle because we live in a world of contentment. We live in a world that says, it is what it is. Next slide, please. Wrong direction. Wrong direction. No, go down to the bottom. Keep going. Oh, man. It's going the wrong way. Yeah, you should be able to just hit the arrows, right or left. Okay. All right. Just trying to help out. Where was I? It is what it is. Isn't this the world we live in? Everything is just fine the way it is. If it's not broken, why should we even try to fix it? This is just the way we've always done it. Do these phrases sound familiar? Doesn't matter where you go, whether it be work, church, school. This is the world that we live in. It is what it is. The story, if anything, teaches us the opposite is true. He was.
Does that, well, I hate to bring this into it, but when you're younger, it's easier to go, could you not have anything? Oh, I moved one time with what I could fit in a 280.
You just dated yourself there, bro.
But if he's wealthy at an older age, was he asked because that is easier also? Because
Well, think about this. When you're wealthy and you're 75 years old, how much stuff do you have? When you were 20 in your house today, you packed everything in a 280Z. Your house today, what would it take you to pack up?
But he said he had 300 servants.
That's later. He was wealthy. Okay. He was later, but along the way, he was nomadic. Along the way, he continued to create or accumulate more wealth and more servants. But with more servants, you have more what? More stuff. You have to travel with more wagons, with more things to carry, more donkeys. You have this long train of people that you're caravanning through this nomadic journey. As an old man, that's even harder. As we get older, we accumulate all this stuff. I moved my parents too many times, but from here to Phoenix, and we had to load up stuff upon stuff upon stuff, and we were like, why don't you throw this away? Can you throw that away? Can we just sell this? And my mom was like, no, we got to take this. For what? But as you get older, you get attached to your things. Like, I'm going to put this in the corner of my new house. Why? I don't know. It's sentimental to me. Now you're older and you're told to leave to a land that you've never been to, you don't understand, you don't even know where you're going. Just pack up and go. And you're taking all this stuff with you. Extremely difficult. Where did I leave off, Lindley? Yeah. But this is the point. As we get older, we get comfortable. As we get older, we don't want to step outside the box. As we get older, we say, it is what it is. This is just the way I've always done it. It's fine the way it is. I don't need to fix it. It's not broken. The whole point of Lech Lecha, of go, is to step outside of the box. To be willing to see that, look, this isn't just the way it is. Sometimes I have to be willing to break through the glass, to go through to the next step, to get outside of my own thinking, to do something that sounds completely unthinkable. Leave your land, leave your relatives, leave your father's house. It's repeated 3 times. We've learned in the gathering that if something is repeated, it's kind of important. Leave your land. When the Hebrew is repeated, right? When Abram is told to leave his land, it's because as humans, we conform, don't we? We adopt the standards of the world around us. The culture of this place is the land. And when we lived here so long, this is what we think is the way life is. You know how many people I've met in the 18 years that I've lived here that have never left this place? I'm sorry, they've gone to Disney World and they've come back. You shake your head, right? This is true. This is facts, right? Hundreds of people that I've met that have never left St. Bernard Parish. They don't even like going to the city. And this is the culture in which they live. This is the land. I've adopted these standards to be true. We're also influenced by our peers, our friends, our neighbors. That's our birthplace, right? The way that we speak, the things that we believe to be true. Depending on your age, you guys believe probably the same things to be true that these guys back here believe to be true. Because this is your age group. As well as you're shaped by your family, how you were raised. Rustin and I have talked many times that your father raised you a certain way, so you thought, what? This is how I'm supposed to raise people. And Abraham's told to go. Go. Your life is to be different. You're not supposed to continue to be this way or be influenced by these people or think this is the way that life actually is. There's something bigger out there for you. Your job is to follow a new path, a new way. All of these gods that you've seen, there's one. And through you, I'm going to bless everybody. Through you, I will bless the world. The call to Abram is a call to responsibility. Like Adam. The very first lesson that we learned from Adam is that there was a call to personal responsibility. I've wondered, how long did it take Abram to hear this call? He's 75 years old. How long did it take him to hear that call? And I ask that because the rabbis, remember we've talked many times about Moses and the burning bush. It said he was in the desert for 40 years until he saw the burning bush. And the rabbis asked, how long did it take him to see the bush? Because of his own distractions, his own fears, his own things that were going on that he didn't see. He couldn't pay attention. He couldn't see the bush. I wonder, because of all the things that were going on in the world and all of the fears and all the doubts and all the things that Abram was struggling with, could he not hear the voice? How often do we disregard the voice? Maybe out of a lack of belief. Oh, I can't hear anything. Maybe it's a doubt. God spoke to these people, but he could never speak to me. Or maybe it's out of fear. Maybe we hear something. We hear the voice telling us to do this or to make this phone call or go say something. We're like, I can't do that. What am I going to say? Who am I to do this? This is a call, go for every one of us of responsibility. When God speaks, what do you do? What did Abram do? He just got up and left. He acted in obedience. There's another biblical story of a biblical character who is told to go, take this message and go tell these people this message. Who was that? What happened to Jonah? Did he do that? No, what did he do? What? He ran. He said, no, I'm not doing that. How was that life after that? Fishy. Good one. Jonah's life was pretty rough, right? Until he acted in obedience. When we disobey God, man, things can get rough for us. When we choose not to listen, when we choose to say, I'm not going to do that, when we choose to say, that's for somebody else to do, when I choose to be disobedient, our life can seem rough, out of control, turbulent at times. It almost can seem like life is against us. But it's a choice that I make because I choose not to follow. I think our culture struggles with this a great deal. I ask a question, I was thinking about this. Can we hear the call? Can you hear a call? Do you believe that you can hear a call? As I said about Abram, I wonder if we struggle with the same things. Maybe we fear, maybe we doubt, maybe we have disbelief that we actually can hear these things. Maybe we hear something that says, call Lindley. And I say, no, I don't need to do that. He's probably busy. He's probably this. He's probably that. I don't need to do this. Is that the Spirit of God calling you to do something that you disregard? Have you ever been driving down the road and all of a sudden a name comes on you and you're just like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this. I'm singing or I'm on a podcast and I'm like listening to something and all of a sudden Rustin's name comes screaming out at me and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll call Rustin. It happened last week with Bruce. I'm driving down the road, all of a sudden Bruce, I got to call Bruce. I call Bruce. We talked for an hour. How many times do you disregard that voice that you think it's just in my imagination and I don't do anything? Or you see that person that's struggling to get out of a car and you something's telling you to look over here and you see it and you're like, should I do something? Oh, it would be awkward if I wouldn't help. If I asked them to do something, I'm just gonna stay here and watch them. Ooh, that's awkward. Gosh, that's a struggle. I hope they get out. I'll pray for them. Years ago, I worked at a casino, and I worked in VIP services. I worked with the people who flew in on their private jets. And I had my own private room that I would work with them and check them in and get them anything that they needed. But every day I had to walk through the casino. And what do you hear when you walk through a casino? Ding, 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 ding. It's a 15-minute walk to get to my office, right? So that's all I hear every single morning. And every morning I couldn't wait to get to this room and I could close the door and it would be what? Be silent. And I'd probably see like 5, 6 people a day. So spend a lot of time in quiet. It was nice. But I wonder how much of our life is like a casino. Where there's all these distractions, all these bells, all these lights, all these whistles, all these text messages, all of these emails, all of these notifications, all of this news that comes in, all of the messenger that comes in, all of the Insta, TikTok, I got to watch this, I got to do this, all of these things, and then all of the drama that takes place at work, and all of the people that want to gossip about this problem, and oh my gosh, I hit another red light, and all these things that just keep taking place in our life, and then we have all these distractions, but I have no place to hear. Maybe we need to find our own quiet space. Isn't this what Yeshua said when he said, go to your prayer closet? For them, it was just taking a prayer shawl and covering themselves up, and that was it. That was their prayer closet. But the idea was to find a place where you can find silence and listen. In an era of absolute distraction, maybe it's time to find a place of silence. This story is for us. Maybe more so than you think. As I was reading this week, there was a passage that came upon me from Matthew chapter 9. Chapter 9, verses 35 through 38 says this. And Yeshua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their congregations and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and healing every disease and every bodily weakness among the people. And having seen the crowds, he was moved with compassion for them because they were weary and scattered as sheep, having no shepherd. Then he said to his taught ones, the harvest truly is great, but the workers are few. Pray then that the master of the harvest would send out workers to his harvest. As I read that, I was stopped from reading anymore. Because it made me think, are there people in this parish who are hurting and broken, frustrated? Are there people in this parish who need the healing power of Yeshua? Can you hear the call? Can you see the call? The biggest lesson of Abraham is go. Go, go. Act in obedience. Make the call that you feel is on your heart. Somebody tells you, do this. Do it. If something's telling you, help this person, help that person. If something is telling you to read this or just stop for a second, get off your phone. Get off your phone. We live in a world that is constantly trying to manipulate us and to tell us to do this or to do that and to purposely move us away from God. And it's a day and age where we now need more than ever to listen to that Spirit that is calling to us. Yeshua also said this, Matthew 7 through 8. He said this, ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened to you. For everyone who asks, receive, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it shall be opened. Do you ever ask to be able to hear? Do you ever ask God, Lord, speak to me? Do you actually pursue God and say, listen, I want to listen to you. I want to hear your voice. I want to sit and just hear you. Please, Lord, speak to me. How can I serve you? Because if you don't ask, guess what? It won't happen. Too often, because of life and because of the drama and because of the distractions, our hearts become calloused. What's a callus? Anybody have calluses in here? Right? What is it? It's a callus. Right? Right. So it becomes hard. So nothing can penetrate through because your skin is soft. Your heart is soft until you callus it. Until you put a callus because of the hurt or the pain or the struggles or the frustrations or anything that has happened in your life, that you callus your heart, that you can't feel or hear anything. When do you ask for forgiveness? Lord, break this callus off my heart. Help me to forgive. Help me maybe to forgive myself so that I can hear you. I want to serve you. Do we hear his voice? I pray that is the pursuit of this community. That we can be like Abram. That we can hear the voice and we can act in obedience upon that. That you, this community, can be a light in so many dark places that are here. That people who are hurting, people who are frustrated, people who are broken, that you can be the one to put the hand on the shoulder, to give that person a hug, to call them up and just say, hey, how are you? To be the person who can listen. To be used by Yeshua to bring healing. That's what spiritual community is. A place to experience God's healing presence and to move us. Father, we just thank you for this morning. We thank you for an opportunity, hopefully to be convicted. Hopefully to convict the callousness that is on our heart. Forgive us, Father. Forgive me, Lord, for my hard heart. I pray, Father, that we can pursue you. We ask, Lord, that you speak to us. We ask, Lord, that you move us. We desire to live in obedience to you as we pursue Yeshua, your Son. We praise your holy name. Amen.